I'm Robert P. Fitton, and this is a quick synopsis for Funeral March for the Maestro. Murder, mayhem, and monkey business. Note to readers, Lark Larson, the former Hamilton coach with a loser record extraordinaire, is also the cheapest man of all time. Jones is on the phone with Lark as Twice as Nice Plumbing rips apart Jones's Colonial on the Common. For some unknown reason, Lark has lent Professor Nussbaum a considerable sum of money to purchase a Steinway piano. Now Nussbaum is trying to delay paying back what he owes to Lark. Mookie and Kookie, the twin plumbers, serve two purposes. They're typical Jones characters that are so bizarre, they provide for comic relief, as well as being royally upsetting to Jones. Yes, the legendary conductor of the Prince William Symphony and professor at Hamilton, Arnold Nussbaum, is killed in the Music Conservatory just outside the baseball field. In fact, Jones and his fellow coach, Matt Connor, running a baseball camp, hear one shot followed by a pause and another shot. Then they see Lark Larson's antiquated bomber of a car race out of the parking lot. Now, don't think this investigation is going to be flawless. Security cop Bucky Driscoll is already on the prowl and given Mac a parking citation earlier that morning. And Arnie Dewars, taunting Jones from the bleachers, runs into the conservatory with Jones. Strangely, all the doors are locked and Nussbaum's dog is barking inside. Bucky unlocks the conservatory doors, but won't let anyone inside the main conservatory. Lark, fleeing from the scene, causes a 35-car pileup with 25 people injured on the highway. The aging coach is arrested and locked in George Strickland's jail cell. More suspects, make that players, come into view, including Mrs. Nussbaum, Mayor Picarda's wife, Lenore, and the floppy-haired Mick Dumas, a music teacher and part of the Mick Dumas trio, who was denied a promotion at the school, is also on the most wanted suspect list. Let's just see what warrants these people to be suspected by Jones and how I pick my suspects in a Jones book. Lark keeps yelling in the jail cell that he's doomed, and the gawky deputy Wendell is enamored by Mrs. Linoa Percata, the mayor's wife. The son-in-law, Steve Corbett, a lieutenant colonel in the service, had a head injury and has never been the same. Corbett likes the women and is on meds. Okay. And Steve Corbett ran into the parking lot on the morning of the murder and drove away like a bat out of hell. Aha! Don't jump to conclusions. Jones needs more facts. So, how do I recruit my suspects? I'd like to think they all could have been a murderer given the right circumstance and motivation. And just because a reoccurring character is a good suspect doesn't mean that he or she isn't a killer. And it's a good thing if a victim had it coming from any one of these potential cold-blooded killers. Sometimes I don't even know myself until the story moves forward. And other times I know before I even write the outline that a certain somebody has committed a murder. Well, what about the other characters? Who are they? The list of suspects in Funeral March for the Maestro are real people. Of course, the real-life characters are exaggerated. I'll talk at a later date about my characters in depth. I spoke to the real-life Lark when I was in college and found him to be a wonderful guy. So did everyone else that he coached. I spoke to him for almost 2 hours and missed one of my classes. The Lark in the Jones book was a nice guy and didn't do well coaching, and a better coach replaced him. But the rest of Lark's neurotic psycho personality is all made up. Mick Dumas is close to the personality of someone I knew very well, except the guy that I knew wasn't ever accused of murder that I know of. Steve Corbett was a man that was a little bit off. That's all I'll say about him. Arnie Dewars, accompanied by his compadre Bucky Driscoll, postulated an incredibly stupid theory about who killed Nussbaum. At the same time, the Bisbane brothers are destroying Jones's house for what was supposed to be a simple job. And then Lark is rushed to Prince William Medical with chest pains. Jones learns that the DA, Herbert Lane's assistant, Roland Chance, had screamed at Lark, causing the chest pains. Father Gallagher had Arnold, his wife Helga, and the daughter Bernice over to the rectory many times for dinner. Gallagher thinks that Lark killed Nussbaum, and Nussbaum's dog Rex was barking at the conservatory. Character backgrounds are always important, and so are background relationships and idiosyncrasies. Sometimes idiosyncrasies are enough to produce clues. Personal characteristics can play a part in steering the compass needle toward the murderer. And how about secrets that many people share with another character? That's important too. Let me ask you this. What did the suspects do after the murder? And is the subject knocked off? A suspect in Funeral March for the Maestro is murdered. Enter a wacky character, Lark's old buddy from Kokomo U, the hefty Sid V.D. Smoltz, who Lark claims is undefeated in his legal challenges. And Lark keeps repeating, "I have been instructed by my attorney to remain silent and to defer all my questions to his office." Smoltz from the rural South asks Police Chief George Strickland, "Are you the law in this town?" Jones questions the chest pain story. Arnie Dewars chucks a lighted cigarette near the gas pump. Well, and why does Corbett's right eye drift to the right? And the clues come marching in. Steve Corbett was assigned to the first and second floor of the library on the morning of the murder. What about the white car that vanishes in the night? And the stunning Lenore Piccata, the mayor's wife, was very, very close to the late Arnold Nussbaum. Lenore Piccata is caught by Jones snooping outside the conservatory windows. And Mick Dumas's contract was not renewed because of a recommendation by Arnold Nussbaum. And the crime scene has tidbits, and that'll always tell a story in itself. And there are no fingerprints on the piano or the murder weapon. And here we are at the end. The ever-popular twist in the story. Lenore Piccata was with Steve Corbett, according to Gallagher, an affair with Steve Corbett. And Corbett is missing now. As if this isn't enough, the Bisbane boys find out some ballistic information for Jones. I really think the final confrontation with the murderer is fantastic. Action and danger with Jones right in the middle of it all. And we find out that one of Hamilton's oddballs is correct in his theory about the murder. We will know who killed Arnold Nussbaum. Funeral March for the Maestro is right there on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. And the audiobook, which is very good, is at audible.coms and iTunes. I'm Robert P. Fitton, and this has been a quick synopsis for Funeral March for the Maestro.